Hi again then guys, and welcome to episode 6 of Dirtmasters Unplugged, the fusion tuning series between Dirtmasters and special projects where we take vehicles that are commonly not used for rallying and turn them into highly competitive, rally-ready machines. Now in this episode, I have to say this is one of my personal favourites of this series so far. It is of course the Volkswagen Beetle RSi, which is already a really cool car in my opinion. One of the rarest and most expensive hot hatches in the world, both in real life and on the game. And the build that we've done with it is we've turned it into a GRC style Rallycross Beetle, which is beyond a WRC car, but not quite the level of a Pikes Peak machine. So obviously this is not a premium car, so there are no visual upgrades that I've done to it apart from painting it orange. Incidentally, if you do want to paint it this particular orange, it comes from the McLaren MP412C. But that's it visually. So we'll go now to the garage for the mechanical setup of the car and then out to the dirt track to see how it performs. So for the mechanical setup on this particular Beetle, I've gone for a 500 pp tuning level, and at that level, as you can see, it produces 400 horsepower, which in the case of this Beetle is really more than enough. So we've got dirt tyres, obviously. For suspension, we've got the ride height as high as possible. The brakes, we've put 6 on the front, 4 on the back, because that does slow you down much quicker. Springs we've increased a little to 5 and 6.75. Dampers and anti-roll to 4. No camber and no toe, because you just do not need them. For the gearbox, we've got an auto setting of 180. Then we've rounded off the gears to 2900, 1975, 1450, 1120, 900 and 750 with a final drive of 4.2. For the diff, we've got the lowest initial torque on the front, highest on the back, highest acceleration sensitivity front and rear, and lowest braking sensitivity. We've got a torque split of 30-70, but I would recommend changing that to suit your personal driving style. As far as the power, we do have an oil change, and then you want your stage 3 engine tune, race exhaust, manifold, cat, and mid-range RPM turbo, and then we've restricted it down to 99% for both its 500 pp and 400 horsepower level. You want the full weight loss package, and then we've got a 53 kilo ballast, which we've got all the way to the front, which helps you to get the back end out and hold that around corners. So that's it for the mechanical setup of the car. So now let's take it out to the track to see how it performs. Now the great thing about the Beetle RSi is that it does naturally lend itself toward being a rally vehicle. It carries most of its weight over the front end, it's all-wheel drive, it looks the part, it's got plenty of ground clearance, and it's a relatively compact package. And I have to say overall it does make an excellent rally machine. 400 horsepower feels just the right amount for this car. It carries its weight extremely well. It actually feels lighter than it actually is, and handling wise it's very good. Now as I said, you do need to adjust the centre diff amount of torque more to suit your personal driving style. Personally, I like most of my vehicles to have a 30-70 split, but if you're the kind of person who likes to get the tail out around corners a bit more, obviously you'll want to go for more like a 20-80 or even a 10-90 split, whereas if you're someone who likes to have as much grip as possible, you might want to go a bit higher. I wouldn't necessarily recommend going closer to a 50-50 split, because that does increase its understeer, and the Beetle is more inclined to understeer anyway, so I wouldn't recommend increasing that too much towards the front. But overall it does make an excellent rally machine, and I used this in a rally lobby just the other day and outran proper rally cars with it, even an Audi Pikes Peak Quattro, not the 4x4, the original Pikes Peak S1 Quattro Pikes Peak rally car, and it outran it. Now granted, the guy driving the car wasn't the best of drivers, but he wasn't bad either, and this Beetle still outran it, despite having significantly less power. Overall, like I said at the start of the video, this is one of my favourites of this series so far. It makes an excellent rally car and it's great fun to drive. Plus it puts the Beetle RSi to good use, because it's a car that many people just don't use enough and it deserves to be used more. So that's it for this build. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, thanks for watching.